you're a small content creator like me.
Hmm.
I guess what got you into content?
So I actually recently just posted about this. So what made me really start content is last summer I went to Japan with my friends. Um, Japan is kind of like a place where everyone's like, oh, don't talk to the strangers. You know, it's don't be loud. It kind of goes against their culture, right? I've always been somebody that likes talking to strangers. I'll literally say hi in the elevator if I see somebody, or like if somebody is standing in line with me, I'm gonna say something. Cause why not? You know, you never know what you could get out of a conversation. Um, and when I went there, I continued doing that. I didn't change just because people told me to. And I met crazy people. I learned some crazy stories. And that really got me thinking, what could I learn if I just asked people? What could I learn if I just was like, yo, what's up? How's your day going? Right? And doing that with intention really matters. Not just saying, yo, what's up, just to, for something, right? But really wondering, yo, how's your day going? Really wondering, right? Doing it with intention.
Y- Yeah, I was gonna say like my favorite part about conversation is kind of getting down to like the psyche of people.
Hmm.
I really like that philosophy aspect. A lot of people's different perspectives really speak to me.
Hmm.
I think that's what really got me intrigued and wanting to talk to more people and just being like I guess friendlier in
Yeah.
in general.
And you never know what you'll get out of a simple
For
conversation, right?
sure.
Like, let's say you have this dream or you have this goal, yo, I want to get this internship at TikTok, right? You might say, what's up to, like, this happened to me a few months ago. This guy was flying his drone over at Zilker Park, and I was just like, yo, what are you doing? You shooting some content? Um, this was back when I really wanted an internship in, like, the advertising um, area, and this guy was like, yeah, I'm just shooting just for fun. I was like, oh, you don't make content? I was like, you should, it might be really cool. And he's like, yeah, I know, I don't really have the time. I'm a senior executive at TikTok, I don't have time. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy, you know, like, how long you been doing that? We had a whole conversation about his life, and then we connected on LinkedIn just because I was like, yo, what are you doing with the drone? So you never know what you'll get out of a conversation unless you start it. I think a lot of people expect things to be handed to them. People want to succeed, but what do you have to do to succeed? You have to take that first step. And if social media or like even just growing as a person is what you want out of life, then you can't be scared to do simple things like just ask somebody, yo, what are you doing? Yo, how's your day going? Stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say like that's one of the critiques of like modern day, I guess like the workforce and stuff
Mhm.
getting into it, especially they say like the resume is dead
Mhm.
because almost with AI especially you can create a perfect resume. It's curated for each job.
Mhm.
So they say like in order to really get a job nowadays, it's just who
Mhm.
you know,
It's
and
your network is your net worth, and my dad has always told me that. Um, Coming into college, like I never really knew what I wanted to do, but my dad was like, go, expand your network, see who you can meet." And I mean, being here in Austin, bro, you never know who you'll know. Like I could talk, like you, right? I met you. You do social media. You reached out. You're like, hey, let's do this. Now we have this kind of connection that is lifelong. You can reach out to me, be like, yo, I'm shooting this. You want to come out? Good opportunities, right? We benefit from that. So your network is your net worth. It's super important. Nowadays, you can't tell if a video is fake or real. It's like crazy, and that goes again, like you said, for resumes. But what will never get, like, what you can never take away from somebody is their personality, their ability to talk to people, how you speak when there's a room full of people. Um, my friend Michael Smoke, Hiro Bonus, always says, like, the number one fear, I think, even above death, is public speaking. And if you
mm,
can conquer that fear, who knows how far you'll get. And like he's been really successful with that. And it's crazy. I mean, the way I met him is because I wasn't scared. I went up to him, I had a quick conversation, and now, you know, I learned some crazy things from him.
it's definitely that. I think it's like what you were mentioning too. You were super scared to like
Hmm.
start making content, and that's so important. People just need to learn how to just start. It's
Hmm.
truly the hardest part about everything, and it's the fear of failure.
Hmm.
It's the fear of not making it. It's the fear of just like people being just afraid, you know. And I'm so happy that you were able to start, and me
Hmm.
too. Like how I've been able to continue to do this for a while now,
Hmm.
and you as well. I was gonna say, segueing into like what's I guess a really good piece of advice somebody gave you that you've talked to before.
Okay, so one thing that I say to everyone, right, is why are you so scared of failing when nothing in this world is truly yours, right? Why are you scared of losing something when you never had that in the first place? Why are you so scared of failing at trying when you were never promised success, right? if you, let's say this, right? You start content. When you start content, it's not promised to you that you're gonna get 1 million followers. You can try and get there. So if you never reach that place, you can't be mad. It was never promised to you, but you can try, right? And I think trying is the most important thing. Taking steps to get to where you want. Nobody knows what they're doing, bro. Nobody has it all figured out. But what's important is that you try. You make an effort, and you'll fail. And when you fail, you'll learn something, and then you'll move forward, and you just keep growing.
I
My
mean, it
bad.
doesn't have to be anything too crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say like me
It's been the
personally.
best. Yeah, you tell me.
I think honestly, like there's not like one minute moment that I would say really spoke out to me. I think it's really just like the impact that I've been able to have in certain people's lives
Hmm.
that really just spoke to me. How like there were some instances where I could really tell like a lot of people just need to get something off their chest,
Hmm.
or they needed like a moment of clarity where I was able to give them that. And just seeing like positive messages or people messaging me privately, just being like, hey, like I appreciate what you're doing, like it's something that I think about on a daily basis
Yeah.
now. Like I think seeing that is really like motivating
Hmm.
in a sense, but also too like it kind of like it it reassures me about like my mindset and my intentions with what I'm doing. You
Hmm.
said earlier that a lot of things are very fake, fabricated. Truly do believe that, and it's becoming worse with AI.
It's
You
so
know,
bad
so
nowadays.
it's like seeing that authenticity is something that's very rare
Hmm.
nowadays, and I want to just push more of that narrative out. I think
Yeah,
that's really just
100%.
my goal.
Hmm. I want everyone to know this, right? Nowadays, if you can value this one thing, you'll go very far in the next few years. Be human. Like with AI taking over, with all these things happening, right? There's one thing that people are slowly losing is how to be a human, how to have conversations, do the simple things, right? Smile every day, even though when things don't go your way. That's something like being human. Um, don't let like social media and all that take that away from you, because it's really easy to go a whole day now without having a conversation, right? You wake up, you can, if you work from home, right, you can just work remotely, do your stuff, not leave your house, right? Stuff like that. You can order Uber Eats. You don't need to talk to anyone. You can go the whole day without talking to someone, which is why you should talk to someone, right? Life has made it so easy for us to not have these conversations, which is why I think we should. And that's what's going to set you apart from a lot of people in the next few years. So be human, right? Learn that it's okay to, I mean, if you have a conversation, stutter. I mean, that's how it is when you talk to people.
I was gonna say you say be human, but what
Hmm.
is your definition? What is your definition of being human?
My def. See, there we go.
Yeah, like
That's what my definition is. It's
like a
like
little.
right
Yeah.
now, I just kind of stuttered. Right? Be okay with being imperfect. I think on social media and just in life nowadays, you can see somebody have this whole perfect lifestyle, um, and that could like make you think that you need to be perfect, but that's not the reality. Be okay with being imperfect. Be okay with failing and figuring it out, right? You're not always going to be 100% every day, but what matters is that you realize that and you're like, okay, maybe I need to take a little rest so that I can come back the next day and do even better. Okay, like don't get like caught up in the whole like grind mentality, because it's gonna burn you out. I mean, eventually over time you'll get used to it, you get better at it, but be okay with being human, and that comes with being imperfect.
I think too, like you were mentioning intention. We've been talking about intention. I
Yeah.
think with intention goes hand in hand purpose.
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of people they don't do things for the right intentions. I feel like even people that do social media nowadays,
Yeah.
like we were talking about unauthentic things. I feel like some people they try to push out so many unauthentic narratives that it shows in the content as well,
Hmm.
and that some people like that's what makes them end up stopping
Yeah.
because they truly don't have a love for it,
Yeah.
or they don't have any passion for it.
Hmm.
And I would say like when it comes to like talking to people, I can tell that you're very passionate, and
I
me
love
too.
it.
I love
I love
talking to
it.
people. I love
Hmm.
interacting with so many people. I guess kind of going back to the human thing, I actually
Yep.
made a video on it today,
Wow.
like on
Nice.
Instagram, just talking about being human. I was asking like, is it about having empathy?
Hmm.
Is it about being genuine?
Hmm.
And I think you touched on a lot of good points, but I think it is those things. I think some people lose their humanity as they go through life, and it's
Yep.
because they've gone through a lot of scenarios that are fake.
Yep. Yeah. Literally. And going back to what you said about purpose, think that's really important too, right? Do things with purpose. Um, when I was feeling really lost when I was here, those first few months of college, not knowing what I was doing, I was on a walk, and I want you to, after this, go take a picture of what that says over there and put it in your video. It says core purpose,
Sure.
basically to do something that allows society to benefit, right? And when I saw that, it really got me thinking, like, what is my purpose on this earth? What do I think am I called to do, right? And I have the ability to talk to anyone, right? And whenever I talk to someone, whether somebody's shy or like who's kind of has the same energy as me, where they could talk to anyone, they're like, "Thank you, I really needed this," right? Because if you could be that, like, I don't know how to say it, but if you could be like that anchor for someone to get out their comfort zone, why not, right? If I'm blessed with this ability to talk to anyone, I want to use it and benefit others, right? So I saw that, and it really got me thinking, like, what is my core purpose when I dig down? And that's gonna take time, right? You got to figure it out. You got to be alone with your thoughts to really see what am I here to do, right? So going to Japan, um, with my boys right after graduating high school, that was a really good time for me to really narrow down, figure out who I am. Being here the first few months, being super lost, right? Just walking around every day, like, damn, what am I doing here, right? What I'm at one of the greatest universities in the world, but I don't feel like I belong. Why is that? You know, go at the root of your problems and try to figure it out, and from there, you'll learn who you really are. And it's when you're lost that you really find some type of direction. But you have to be able to get lost and be uncomfortable. Don't be scared of losing yourself for a little bit so that you can gain a better you. And it's really important that you do that.
That's really interesting. I
Yeah.
was gonna say like I feel like you've been speaking a lot to the people,
Hmm.
but I guess like personally,
Yeah.
what's something that you've gone through or something that has like really defined you? I guess in terms of like your mindset, because
Yeah.
I feel like you're very outspoken and
Mhm.
very like driven. I
Yeah.
guess like what made you feel that way?
The way my parents raised me and the way my parents lived their life before I was here. So my dad's story is crazy, right? Like, he was overseas. He came here as an immigrant, worked his butt off, right, trying to provide for my other three siblings. Um, and knowing his story makes me wake up every day and be like, he did all this, right? He suffered, and I have the ability to do something great because of what he set up, the foundation that he made, right? He's allowed me to be at one of the greatest universities, and it's really expensive, right, being here. Um, but he's never once told me, like, hey, like, it's very expensive, you need to do this. But I understand that, and I want to respect the the I want to respect that, right? So I want to do something great while I'm here. That's what really drives me, is knowing that my parents set me up to have a great life, not have to worry about it. And it's like, I need to do something good, so and it's not like any pressure. They're not like, oh, you need to do something great with your life, something big.
Have you told your family this?
Yeah, I talk to them like, I'm following my dreams because of you guys, right? They weren't able to do what they wanted to do because they had to focus on providing for the family. I'm not making any money right now. I'm able to do what I want to do, and that's because of them. That's because they go to work every day, make sure that I have food, make sure I have a place to stay. And when you narrow it down to those small little things, it makes you appreciate life a lot more, right? Having gratitude for those small little things. Being able to wake up every day and following your dreams is a blessing that people um, don't really understand. Like, for me, right, I know that I can be successful in content because I've seen it happen. I've seen other people become successful. But if you're somebody that's been raised like overseas, and you're just surrounded by like war and bad things, it's going to be kind of hard for you to think that way, right? That I can make it out and do great things
Yeah, it's
because
like
you're
a cycle of trauma.
not surrounded by it. So the ability to dream big is also a blessing because we're here in a great place where we're allowed to dream big, not have to worry about things. So that's my foundation, is like being grateful, but also understanding that I didn't do anything to deserve this. My parents
Mhm.
built it for me. Um, and I get,
Have you always been close to your parents?
yeah, I've been really close to them like my whole life. I go back to Houston a lot. That's like my biggest thing, is like family. I do all this so that one day, in the future, I want to have a big house on a ranch with my family. That's like my end goal with life. Um, just relax. I mean, Michael Smoke told me something the other day. It's like, don't forget to look around and remember that you're here and how beautiful it is that you're here. I think you can get caught up in living life so fast. Like, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to go to work, I got to provide, I got to come home, rest, work out next day, right? But truly, just look around, stop for a second. You know, the sun's out, the trees are here, life is good, right? And it's really important that you understand that. Learn to slow down before you speed up sometimes.
Yeah, that's a lesson I had to learn the hard way because
Hmm.
like growing up, I wanted to be like my future self so bad.
Hmm.
So like in elementary, I was like, oh, I can't wait to be in high school. Like I
Yeah.
can't wait to be a high school graduate. Middle school, I was like, oh, I can't wait to be in college. I can't wait to be, college graduate in the workforce. All
Hmm.
this, and it really it really humbled me because when I got to those moments, I really felt like kind of unsatisfied with my life.
Yeah.
But it was because I didn't learn to respect the journey.
Yeah.
And that's really cool that you say stuff like that. I would
Hmm.
say like the reason why I keep asking about your family is because I kind of grew up in the opposite way.
Yeah.
I was my family's a lot older than I am,
Hmm.
and I wouldn't say that's the reason for the disconnect, but I feel like I've just never been super connected with my family. But it's something that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
So a lot of the lessons that I've learned are truly just through trial and error. I
Yeah.
failed so much, and that's kind of speaking on something that we were talking about earlier, which is just failure.
Hmm.
A lot of people just need to be comfortable with failure. I've
Oh yeah.
failed in literally every single way that you
Hmm.
can, and I've grown and I've become stronger because of it.
Hmm.
And I would say don't lose that because I would say being here in Austin, especially being away from home, like it can be very difficult sometimes.
Yeah. And I want to ask you the same question that you asked me, right? What drives me? But what drives you?
I think that's what it is for me. Like because of the small family that I grew up in, I always wanted to cultivate a family of my own and
Hmm.
really just make something that was mine. I guess like I in like jealousy when I was little, I would always look at big families
Hmm.
or just like people with their grandparents and stuff like that. Like I didn't have that. I didn't
Yeah.
have grandparents growing up. I had two siblings, but one was 7 and 11 years older than me.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I really grew up as an only child. So I
Hmm.
always wanted to have a big family and wanted to, I guess, build something
Yeah.
and create like traditions where we could do stuff together because I seen so much how bad my family struggled
Yeah.
growing up. I mean, I was not rich by any means. Even being here, like you're saying, is a blessing.
Hmm.
So I think it's just allowing more opportunity and building a strong foundation that I really crave and I really want to build.
Yeah.
And also too, like when we're talking about purpose, one question that I really like to ask people is like, what is your why?
Hmm.
And my why has been to truly be the sole purpose of sole owner of my time.
Hmm.
I really want to be the sole owner of my time to do whatever I kind of want to do with life, to not be held down by like traditional responsibilities, aka like a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and also time allows me to be with my friends and family, which is something that I wanted that I truly crave.
Hmm.
And then when there's a why, there's a how, and I wanted to do it by being a genuinely good person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to stick to my morals and not have to cave into like the unauthentic nature of society right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to touch on what you said about time. That's really important, and I think life for a lot of people will truly start when they realize that the currency of life is not money, it's your time, right? You will always be able to earn money, you will always be able to spend money. But the time that's gone by, you will never be able to get back. And the time that you're going to spend is going to be there. It matters how you use it, right? Once you realize that what the currency of life actually is, that's when you'll start living, right? Time is money. I mean, people say it all the time, but that can fly by your head really easily. A lot of things will fly by your head, but it matters about intention and realizing that, whoa, I have time to do stuff, to make the future I want. This doesn't go for everyone, right? There's a lot of people that truly are in situations that might be hard to get out of, right? Um, and to those people, I would just say keep going, right? Let the time fly. Um, I'm Muslim, and in the Quran it says, with hardship comes ease, right? Um, God will never put you through anything that you're not meant for. Everything that's in your life, it's there for a reason. If you're going through a hard time in your life, it's to teach you something, and the outcome will be 10 times better. You just have to be able to get through that and keep going.
For sure, I think like that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like a lot of people that live in those trauma-filled areas where they get grow up in families of trauma, they really do struggle to see, I guess, past that barrier,
Hmm.
because in a sense, it's almost like sayings full of lies
Hmm.
because no one has been able to breach past that point.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
it's really just it takes just one person to truly believe it and truly seize the moment where they can truly,
Yeah. Because
excel.
I mean, how can you imagine a life that hasn't been shown to you, right? It's very hard to have that mentality, right? It just comes with time. I think with time you get better at it. I mean, time is everything. But another question I have for you, right, is that you've never really been too close with your family. So in your life, has there been somebody that has kind of helped you, and it might not be family, but is there a friend that's been there for you through the hardships, taught you something that you need to know, and what exactly did they do to get you to where you are now?
I would say I would say recently I've had a lot of people that are a lot closer to me, but I wouldn't say close in the terms of they've helped me through something. I would say
Mm,
there are a lot of instances where there are a lot of people that have helped me, kind of help me out with my thoughts, and talking to them has always helped me. But I would say like a specific person or like close friends, never that.
okay.
Like I would say like my roommate, he's somebody that I've known for a very long time, up until like since elementary. But I would say we're very close, but I don't know. I think I've become very dependent on myself, and I guess like that's also another mission of mine, is to become more, I guess, open when it comes to talking to people just about like my emotions and my feelings and stuff.
Hmm.
Because I've been so, self-centered for such a long time, because that's all I had.
Yeah.
I didn't have anybody else to like kind of depend on, and I was always about myself, being independent. So I guess like that was always like a hard thing for me to
Yeah.
open up or to feel like emotions at times.
Yeah.
And I think like the past, I would say it's been like 5 years or so that I've been really, truly like getting out of my shell and feeling a lot better about myself. And when it comes to like feeling stuff,
Yeah.
I guess.
And again, I mean, it all ties back to what we said before, is like you weren't able to really emotionally get close to someone because you've never seen it happen, right?
Hmm.
And that could be hard for a lot of people, but it's possible. I mean, people are
For sure.
amazing. There's gonna be people that are dealing with their own insecurities, and they'll portray that on you, you know. Um, but most of the world is good, bro. You just have to see the good in the world, right?
Now, I would say like there are a lot of people that have had impacts in my life,
Mhm.
but it's just like one-off things that I would hear.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like in terms of like, I guess like close-knit relationships.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I haven't been able to, I guess, keep them, either because of distance or just like disconnect,
Yeah.
just because of life. I've been constantly moving around a lot, so it's hard. It's hard at times.
Yeah. Have you ever been on like a trip, like a solo traveling trip? Huh?
I've always like, well, when I was growing up, my family kind of dragged me around everywhere,
Mm,
because I was like the little boy, little kid. My siblings were a lot more grown, so I just would go with them everywhere.
I'm exactly like that.
And yeah, I don't know. It's just like go to Dallas one
Mm.
weekend, or like I'm Colombian and Salvadorian, so my
Okay,
my
nice.
parents took me to Colombia one of these like when I was like 13,
Yeah.
something
You
like
should
that.
definitely, if it's not like a big trip, right? Just, I mean, if do you have a car?
Yeah.
Yeah. So save up some gas money, get some food money, just take a little road trip, right? Reach out to people on social media, post it on your social media, like, yo, I'm taking this road trip. I'm gonna be stopping in Dallas, Tennessee, Oregon, right? Any of y'all from there? Could I stop by your place? But go on something that like it's like gets you out your comfort zone, and it's you're gonna see more of the world. That's when you're gonna really start thinking more about like who you are, what you want out this world. And
Mm.
are you close to your faith? Is that
Yeah, I'm
yeah?
I'm Catholic,
Okay.
so I guess like Catholicism has been something that has been very on and off for me. I
Hmm.
guess I would say in recent years I've become a lot more religious,
Yeah.
and I think it's because like I was mentioning earlier, like being here in college has I've gone through a lot of failure,
Hmm.
and I guess in failure, time and time again, I always found myself talking to God and seeking, I guess, advice or wisdom from God to be like, oh, like what should my next step be, or like praying about like certain instances, just being like, oh, like I hope everything gonna work out and stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, I recently got, so there's like there's different like sacraments in Catholicism, which is basically like stages, I guess.
Okay.
You get baptized, you get like your first Eucharist, and then I recently got confirmed, which is basically people say it's like the introduction into Catholicism, where basically you go through classes and then you kind of like show yourself to God in a
Mhm.
sense, and uh, you lead a life where you talk about your religion and the church, and you just abide by all the rules. I guess you could say like that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
But a lot of people usually do it around like I guess like high school time. That's when people usually do it.
Yeah. And another thing, right, is like content, right? Let's go back to content. Like, what's stopping you from going all in? Like, is this what you want to do?
I would say I've been doing this consistently now for the past 4 months.
Mm,
Something, I guess, like something broke in me.
no.
And I literally told myself, I was like, well, this is something that you really always wanted to do. So why
Mm,
don't you just like apply
just do
yourself and
it.
do it? And I would say consistently now for the past 3, 4 months, at least on YouTube, I've had at least maybe 50 videos totaling like maybe 2 or 3 days total of content
Mm,
just like made. I mean, I've like expedited my hours watched by like 5,000. I mean,
amazing.
I've gone up by like 300% on subscribers and stuff. Like
Amazing.
I've just been grinding for the past 3 months, 3, 4 months, and it's because like exactly what you're saying. Like
Mm,
I was like, there's like literally no reason why I shouldn't be doing this. So I was like, I've never been scared to work in my life.
yeah.
So I was like, if I'm applying myself in these other areas, let me just apply myself here.
Mhm.
That's what I've been doing consistently now. And then whenever I realized like, okay, like you can really do this when it comes to social media, I was like, well, I think you need to be healthier in your life. I was like, you've been treating yourself like garbage. So I just recently turned 20. And when I turned 20, I was like, all right, you got to stop slacking. You got to be on top
Rock,
of your
yeah.
shit. And from then, it's been like about a month and a week now. And I've been consistently like sticking to kind of like a calorie goal and going to the gym and stuff. I've just been trying to get my body and mind right, and it's been like over the past 4 or 5 months that has really like set that in for me. And it's
Good.
just it's all about a mindset thing.
Yeah.
Like I think I made a video about how motivation is fleeting, mindset is forever, and I truly do believe that because like people can tell you one-off things, or you can see a video about like, oh hey, like you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and it gives you motivation, but those things are fleeting. You're like those emotions, those things like you
Discipline.
can't. Yeah, it's all about creating a system.
Yeah.
And I think just through creating systems where I've been like, okay, I'm free during this time, I can make content, I can go to the gym. That
Yeah.
has been like my biggest change that has made a big impact, and I'll say lasting impact in my life for sure.
Yeah. The reason why I asked that is because, I know this is what I want to do, and like on the human archive side of it, I'm good at posting, right? On my personal page, though, sometimes I won't post a video because I'm like, oh, like what will people think? And I mean that's it's natural, the fear perception of what others think of you, right? Um, I've gotten a lot better at it, but I think I asked you that because my answer to that is like that. Sometimes I'm scared. What are people gonna think? But I'm getting better at it, and I want to go all in. Just make whatever videos I want. Literally do whatever I want with my life. Cause why not? I say that all the time. Why not?
Yeah.
Literally ask yourself why not. If you don't have a valuable answer to that, then you're holding yourself back.
And I would say like part of our fear is really just that like short dopamine that we become so accustomed to,
Mhm.
like seeing the big number go up. We're like, oh my god, yes,
Yeah.
And I feel like I've had to tell myself that too, like being
Detach
like,
yourself
it's.
from the outcome.
I would just say like instead of looking things in the short term, think about stuff in the long term, like a long term goals instead of short term goals.
Hmm.
Because I guess like one of my long term goals on YouTube was like reach like 100,000 views on YouTube.
Hmm.
Um, and like what you're saying with your personal page, like maybe it doesn't do as well, so you're like, oh, like maybe I shouldn't post this. Recently, like some of my favorite videos are the ones that have like 14, 16 views,
Yeah.
and I've told myself like, yeah, I mean it sucks that people don't want to see the art or don't want to check it in, but at the same time I tell myself if I'm doing this for me or like the passion for it, as long as I truly enjoy what I'm making, then that's really what matters.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what keeps consistency too. It
Mhm.
shouldn't just be like, oh, like the big number goes up, like, let's make more videos. It
Yeah.
should be like, wow, this video was really fun to make. Let's make more.
Yeah, that's why I said you should detach yourself from the outcome. It's
Yeah,
super
for sure.
important, right? If you're not caring about, oh, I need XYZ amount of views, right? Then it's going to be like, okay, well, I can post this, get 20 views, but it doesn't matter because I don't care about the outcome. My main focus is what can I put in, right? What is my income looking like? And um, it just changes your life once you detach yourself from the outcome. And things are going to go your way once you start realizing that
For sure.
100%.
Nah, bro. Well, you had some great stuff to say.
Yeah.
It was
Thank
nice to meet you, bro.
Of course, yeah. Thank you for reaching out.
Yeah, of
and,
course.
I hope nothing but the best for you.
Yeah,
and
you
if I
too,
could
bro.
leave everyone with one
Let's
last
do
thing,
it.
right? I say this all the time. Try, fail. Something's gonna work, right? I think every action that you put out into the world is a lottery ticket, and every time you put something out, you're generating more lottery tickets, and something's bound to happen, right? Every time you apply to a job, that's another lottery ticket that you're applying for. Um, something's gonna work. Every time you post a piece of content, that's another lottery ticket. Something's gonna work if you keep trying. And don't forget that God is the Almighty and He will give, but you have to be worthy enough to receive. So, peace out, keep smiling, and keep trying to get 1% better every day. Peace.